It's little surprise that a show that's lasted 9 seasons has seen a cast shift a few times. And while several members of Chicago PD have been around since the series premiered in 2013, the show has undergone some cast exits, and some more dramatic than others, and others completely off screen and written off. Here's a look back at some of the biggest character exits from Chicago PD. Number 9. The most annoying part of Vanessa Roas's exit was it really wasn't one. Lisette Chavez was great in this role, showcasing Roas as a foster kid who was even homeless at one point and was taken in by Upton as a roommate. And there were hints of a romance between her and Atwater before the show went on hiatus due to that deadly virus that shall remain nameless on this channel. In the off-season, Chavez left the show to join CW's Legends of Tomorrow. And when season 8 began, there was no explanation for Rojas being gone. In fact, to hear the characters talk, it was as if she had never been on the show. Number 8. Already a veteran TV actor, John Seda was well cast as Antonio Dawson. And while he had a temper at times, he was cool under pressure to aid other cops while balancing his married life. Now, Dawson also aided his sister Gabby on Chicago Fire. And he then hit the trifecta by starring in a short-lived Chicago Justice spinoff. And by season 6, Dawson developed an addiction to painkillers, and it eventually began affecting his work, leading to his daughter being kidnapped. And before long, Dawson was missing off-screen, with it finally being explained that Voight had forced Antonio back to rehab. That wasn't the exit fans were hoping for. But alas, here we are. Number 7. Now, Sheldon was the unit's tech whiz and always ready to help with his hacking skills. And Archie Cow made Sheldon a lovable character, possessing a nice sense of humor. That's what made it so shocking when it was revealed that Sheldon was a mole for Internal Affairs Officer Stillwell. And Jim was forced into it to get money for his sick father, and he hated it as he knew Hank was actually a good cop. The season 1 finale shockingly had his dead body found in a trunk in an attempt to frame Hank. Number 6. Chicago PD began as a backdoor pilot in season 1 of Chicago Fire. And while many characters made it to series regulars, a few didn't. Julie Wilhite was introduced as Dawson's partner, and she seemed to be a good balance to Erin Lindsay as a strong cop and tougher than she appeared. And as she and Dawson went after a perp, Wilhite was shot and the bullet slipped past her vest and she ultimately died in the ambulance. It wasn't an unbelievable death, but fans deserved a better exit than that. Number 5. Erin had arrested 17-year-old Nadia for drug use, among other things, and she tried to get her clean. And third time was a charm because Nadia cleaned up herself and began working as an assistant for the unit. And Stella Maeve was engaging in the role with Nadia winning over everyone, even Trudy. Erin enjoyed the young woman and was open to Nadia joining the police academy. But tragically, in a Chicago PD Law and Order Special Victims crossover, Nadia was abducted by a serial killer and ultimately died. Erin nearly self-destructed herself before avenging Nadia in the end. Number 4. Best known by his nickname Mouse, Greg Gerwitz had appeared in season 1 as a former army friend of Halstead, who was used as a criminal informant. And by season 2, Moose became the unit's technical aide with his hacking and know-all skills. And sadly, his criminal record preventing him from really becoming a full cop. Season 4 had Mouse feeling anxious about his work and wanting to rejoin the army unit. Halstead tried to stop him in an attempt to protect Mouse, which led them to a huge blow-up. Halstead finally just accepted the fact that Greg wanted to do this and helped expunge his record so he could rejoin the Rangers. Isn't that a good friend? Number 3. Sean Roman is unique in that he got 2 big goodbyes on Chicago PD. After 2 years as Kim Burgess' partner, Roman was shot in season 3. And while he survived, the long-term injuries meant he couldn't stay on the streets as a patrolman. So he moved to San Diego. Now, by season 7, Roman returned to a Chicago PD Chicago Fire crossover, looking for his missing sister. This got him involved with a drug gang and a tragic conclusion to the search. His farewell was far more bitter as Sean learned that the hard way, that he couldn't really go home again. Number 2. Erin Lindsay was a key figure in the series. Raised almost as a foster daughter by Voight, Erin rose to become a top detective. And she had hard times in the series, like a difficult mom and the loss of Nadia really sent her on a downward spiral of drinking. And by the final episodes of season 4, Erin was called before the review board for beating a child abductor. That was combined with her mom being arrested for shooting a guy in a deal gone bad. Talk about hard knock life. Number 1. Of all the losses on Chicago PD, Al Alinsky's was one of the hardest. Al and Voight had been friends for years and formed the unit together. In season 5, Al was set up for murder and ultimately went to prison. In prison, he was stabbed in his cell on orders from a drug boss for a past case of Al's. And it was heartbreaking for Voight to have to silently break it to the team that Al had died of his wounds, with everyone devastated. Now, it's your turn. Did we miss a character exit from Chicago PD that deserves to be on the list? Let us know in the comments. And as always, like this video, share if you care, but be sure to subscribe. And we'll see you all at the next one.